Hello, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Tuesday Night Live here in the Holding Block with me, EJWAY. It's so good to be here. Another week, another show, and I am excited to bring the show to you all tonight. Tonight, we're going to be talking about intrapreneurship. And no, I didn't make up the word. It's an actual word. And what it means essentially is somebody who has an entrepreneurial mindset or works as an entrepreneur would in the workplace. So we're going to be talking to somebody today who not only knows about this, but has lived it and is living it and has experienced it. And that person is none other than Ola Otaiku. And now he is the co-founder of Xuntos. And if you were watching my special that I had a couple of weeks ago called Friday Night Live, I interviewed him along with 3 other guests. And we spoke to him briefly about the things that he did. Now tonight, we're going to get real deep. We're going to get into some of the nitty gritty of what it means to be an entrepreneur so that you can, if you are in full-time work, maximize your entrepreneurial spirit and make sure that you're on fulfilling all of your potential in every single thing that you do. So who is Ola Otaiku? Well, Ola graduated with first-class honors in computer science degree from the University of Hull. He is working as a software engineer currently at Sky UK. And he's actually building and maintaining Sky's flagship digital products, which include Now TV, and everybody knows about Now TV. It's used by millions of customers across Europe. And he's currently working on the US integration of Sky to NBCU in America. Now that is huge. That is huge because obviously we know Sky to be a British company, and he's the guy that is involved with that transition there. That is amazing. Ola, he founded Xuntos in 2016 with a couple of his fellow students. And now this is another thing about when people are focusing on university, we hear about people who have gone to uni and they've dropped out to start a business. Well, he continued and he did his business at the same time. So he's really embodying that entrepreneurial spirit. So he founded Xuntos in 2016. And that provides people in the community from historically underrepresented groups with the details of new job opportunities and advice on how to get ahead within the tech industry. And he's also a guest lecturer for Hertfordshire University. This is none other than Mr. Ola Otaiku. And I'm going to welcome him to the show right now. Hello.
Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome. You are very, very welcome. It's good to have you here on the show.
Thank you.
How are you this evening? How are you?
I'm great, thank you. You know, the weather's not great, but you know, it doesn't faze me.
Oh yeah, we just have to smile, don't we? We have to
smile.
Do you know what? It's been a strange day for me. I'm going to use my anti-perspiration cloth. I realize I've closed all of my windows. That was a crazy move. I'm going to have
the wind in, do you?
Yeah, well, I do need them open. I'm going to open them in a minute. But yeah, today's been a bit of a strange, kind of crazy day in terms of just things happening. I mean, I don't know if you're a football man. I don't know if you've been following what's happened with Harry Maguire. I almost said Jerry Maguire there. But
I haven't been following what's been going on today.
Yes, he was. Yeah, well, he was. I think he was arrested for the attempted assault, and then there was also bribery charges as well. And today he was found guilty in a court in Greece. So yeah, there's a lot of question marks over whether he's starting. I've seen news flashing up that Lionel Messi has requested to leave Barcelona. Who'd ever thought? Who would have ever thought?
I wonder where he's going to next, or is this the knocking at the door of retirement for him?
Well, this is it. Probably, you know, when people usually finish in the Premier League, they go to America. He's probably finishing in Spain. He'd probably come to England.
I don't blame him. He's more than welcome here.
Oh, I'd love to see him in the Premier League. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, he should come to Arsenal.
Yeah, you're an Arsenal man.
I'm an Arsenal man. Yeah, no one knows me, but I support Arsenal.
This guy. I knew it. I knew it. I knew you were a special guy. I knew you're a special guy. Well done. Well done. Yeah.
Thank you.
That's the team. That's the team. Okay, so Ola, I've given a little introduction about you, but feel free to tell us a bit about yourself, and just explain some of the things in your journey regarding that time at uni and Xuntos. How did that all happen?
So I think what made everything kind of start off at university was the fact that I'd always been passionate about technology, and I'd always had people around me who were doing good things, helping other people, and just trying to be the best that they can be. And growing up in London, which is quite a diverse community, you meet people from all walks of life, different color, different sexualities, you name it. Everybody's just different, and they showcase themselves and what's unique about them. And I think while I was studying up north at the University of Hull, it was quite a different experience in terms of diversity. There wasn't many people that looked like me, spoke like me, or came from, a small village in London called Hackney, like myself. And I think whilst being at university in my course, while studying computer science, our cohort was about 300 people, but about 10 to 15 of us were Black. And to make matters worse, there was only one Black female on the whole course. So we were a minority, as you would say. Also, the academic staff were, predominantly white British male. And I think whilst being at university, it was hard to build a relationship with our lecturers and also form relationships with our course mates. So that struggle kind of made me even more closer with the few Black and ethnic minorities on my course. And we said that whilst we're studying at university, we're going to make the most of our time and help each other to get the best grade possible, teach each other to make sure, if you might have missed a lecture or don't perhaps understand a particular topic or some concept, someone in a group who's strong enough will teach it. And also to make sure that, going forward in our studies, we're able to network with the right people, find opportunities within the industry, and ultimately, be the best that we can be within the tech industry. And that small support group, which started with a few of my course mates, started to expand across the university, supporting people from other year groups. And then from there, it just kind of grew and grew. And we ended up expanding to, different universities across the country. And 4 years later, it's the Xuntos you see today, a community that's growing even stronger. And we've been able to set up communities at over 10 universities. Our graduate group chat is flourishing with about over 130 people who have graduated and working in tech. Our online community is growing and growing as well. Across all social media, we have about just over 2,000 followers.
Wow, do you know what? This is kind of akin to what do you call him? Facebook man.
Mark Zuckerberg is a legend himself.
Mark Zuck, yeah. So I don't know why. Sometimes you try and think of names, and the name that was in my head was Bill Gates. It was just stuck there. But yeah.
Funny enough, people actually call me Bill Gates. Like my partner, she's always calling me Bill Gates.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. That's a good comparison. You should be flattered.
Yeah, I'm on it.
That's good. Yeah, and because I just think about the fact that naturally, while he was at uni, again, it's kind of a group of friends, and they started this thing off just for their campus, and then they branched out to other campuses. I think it's a wise thing, but also you kind of have to see that opportunity there, right?
Yeah.
So, like you said, it kind of started off as just a need, like a result of a need that you had. And then you thought, right, okay, well, surely other people may have this as a need. Let's help people meet that need. And then it grew from there. Now, what I want to ask is, because, for me, I know I grew up, and people that know me know I grew up in a Nigerian household, right? So when it comes to your studies, if you're going to university, you have to study and work hard. You're not going to be distracted by this thing and that thing. So I want to know, how was it for you in terms of the studies itself? Is this something that you feel distracted from studies, or did it help your studies, or what was the balance like, knowing that you're there to try and get your degree and focus? And I don't know, was the temptation there to feel, no, I really just need to focus on this? What was it like?
University was quite challenging in the sense of balance. Even though coming from before going to university, I've always dibbled and dabbled in other things. So I grew up in church and spent a lot of time, you know, helping out and serving, whether that be playing drums or doing sound or just being of general assistance. And I had to balance that with my GCSEs and my A levels as well. And also when I was younger, I used to help like family friends repair their computers and stuff as well. And at the same time, I still like to play football and swim and have fun with my friends. So balance was something I was used to. But by the time I got to university, whilst doing Xuntos and also later co-founding UK Black Tech along with Mark Martin and a few other people.
Yes, that's right. Yes, we're going to get to that. But
yeah. So alongside that, I was also the social secretary for Afro-Caribbean Society at the same time. And then again, found myself in church playing drums and also assisting on the technical side. So it was a lot. And I often found myself doing university in my spare time, whether that be late nights, weekends, early mornings. But I think what really drove me through university and everything that I was doing was the passion I had for everything. Right. I always say to myself, if I'm not going to enjoy something, there's no point in doing it. And if I do it, I'm going to do it well, and I'll do whatever it takes to get there.
Wow. Wow. That's amazing. I definitely relate, like on every level of what you just said, in terms of juggling all those different things, especially with the tech support for church and things like that. Yeah, it can be a lot, but you seem to have taken it all in your stride. That's really good.
Thank you.
Now, let's get onto this UK Black Tech as well, because like you said, not only were you studying, not only did you have all your other obligations, you co-founded Xuntos with your friend. I'll bring up the picture as well. These are the guys.
Yeah, the team. I can't see the picture, but we've got Andre Hitchman, who's a software developer at Kin & Carter. And we've also got Bernard Kambasha, who's an enterprise architect at Vodafone. And most recently, Sonia Bello, who joined us as well, she's a UX UI designer working for an e-commerce company in Birmingham. So that's the current team.
Wow, that's excellent. That's excellent. So you've got all of that. And then none other than Mark Martin, urban teacher himself, MBE, you know, so you partnered with him to create UK Black Tech. What is UK Black Tech? Tell people about that and how that started.
UK Black Tech's an organisation that's all about changing the first face of diversity within the UK tech industry and making it the most diverse and innovative over the next 100 years. And we do that by highlighting and showcasing, you know, where the people are in the UK driving innovation, the people creating cool inventions and really driving and changing technology behind some of the business and organisations we see today. And over the last 4 years, we've worked with PwC and Microsoft and other companies within many sectors like JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, just to change the face of diversity within tech and also highlight innovation in different sectors. Most recently, we held a hackathon with PwC where students from different universities came together to build technical solutions to the COVID-19 response. Last year, we also brought a few students from different universities to the Design Museum to come up with solutions to raise awareness for sickle cell and also help sufferers as well. So we're doing a lot of work to just, you know, showcase the talent, the innovation, and ultimately change the UK and make it the best country for tech in the world.
Amen. That's an excellent aim. I'll give a round of applause there. I think, yeah, what do I think about that? What I think, and what I want you to explain, oh, goodness me. When it comes to diversity in tech, the company is called UK Black Tech. Now, for some people listening to that, they think, oh, why? What's the need for it? Can you tell us what the importance is of the company itself? What is the relevance? And in working with these companies, what is some of the work that you have been doing with them? What is the validation for UK Black Tech?
Yeah, so I think we live in a world where, you know, not everybody is of the same color, the same race, the same beliefs, the same traditions. And, you know, tech is an everyday part of our life. Without, you know, tech, a lot of the things that we do today wouldn't like predominantly exist. We wouldn't have this conversation. The shirt that you're wearing or the shirt I'm wearing wouldn't have been made. The microphone that you're using to record this session simply just wouldn't exist. And tech is literally the driving force for a lot of things. And we want tech to represent the people that use the products, the people that use technology. And in order to do that, you need to have people from all walks of life and all backgrounds building the technology and driving the change within technology as well. So where UK Black Tech comes into that is, we show these companies and organizations that there is Black talent who are, geniuses and experts within the industry and know what they're doing and know what they're talking about, and also can contribute to the success of these companies. Over the last year, we held an event at Bloomberg where we invited 10 different innovators from architecture to the Internet of Things to, fine art and design to come and showcase their work. And we're just really about shining, the light on the innovators within the country and making sure that all the companies that we work with and within the team, we all work within the tech industry as well. We're doing a lot of work to make sure that we can ensure that, the products that people use and that we build and interact with represent us and, work to serve us as well. We don't want a situation where, Black people are mistakenly recognized as monkeys by a machine learning module for a search algorithm. Or we don't want another issue where, we see a soap dispenser that happens to be racist. Something that's, a pure mechanism.
Happened, right? And this is, some people, I work in tech as well, so I know that I've seen the reports about these things, but they are actual things. You're not making this up.
Yeah.
This is what happens when you don't have a reflective workforce.
For anyone who doesn't believe me, search the racist soap dispenser on YouTube and you will see the video.
Yeah, it's quite powerful. So sorry, I interrupted you. Carry on.
No worries. Yeah, I just wanted to touch on the importance of, these issues wouldn't happen if, Black people were working in development teams, working in the leadership team and was involved in the testing of these products, because they would see right-handedly that, this doesn't work and to change something about it.
Yes, and I think this doesn't work for everybody. And this is one of the main things, because without that reflection of society, the users of this tech on the ground level, you're testing it among yourselves, you're testing it among your closed group, and you could easily send it to a product, so actually, yeah, let's manufacture this thing, let's mass produce it, let's get it out there because it works. But
it really works for a certain set of people.
Exactly, and that is a real problem. That is a real problem. Now that really is amazing, because I think not only is it about, because we spoke to Kike Onawinde the other week about kind of recruitment within all sectors for talented Black professionals, but really with this isn't just about recruitment. This is about actually a fair representation of both the talents of the individuals, but also the effectiveness of the technology that reaches us in our homes, in our public toilets. And
Yes.
That's amazing. So, okay, so we're getting the timeline here. So you've got, you're at university and you start Xuntos as part of a need you've identified. You're still at uni when you co-found UK Black Tech, is that right?
Yeah, it was probably about 6 months after, launching Xuntos and doing the research and connecting with people. So at that time, I was trying to expand my network, and I think I was also looking for some industry experience as well, because I just finished my first year of university, and in my second year, I knew that at the end of it, within the summer, I would like to work within a tech company. So I started early applying for roles and also just, looking for people in the industry who look like myself. I've been fortunate in every area of life to be able to, relate with people in places that I perhaps want to be or aspire to be, and always valued the importance of like a networking community. So that led me to just, going on Twitter or building up our social media platforms as one does. And I'd say by accident, I bumped into Mark Martin and a few of the other co-founding team members of UK Black Tech. Right. And I think one of us followed each other and sent a DM just over the Christmas holidays, and we said we should meet up for coffee, and the rest is history. And then we then came to launch UK Black Tech at Bloomberg a few months later.
Wow, that's amazing. That really is amazing. So you've got 2 businesses that you've started while you're still studying, and you took it all in your stride. You're still helping out with church, still helping out with instruments and the tech and everything else. And you came up with a degree, right?
Yes. So I came out with a first class degree in computer science.
Oh my goodness me. That's some serious business right there. So you're actually studying, you've got all of these things going on, and you come out with a first class degree. That's amazing. Getting a round of applause.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's brilliant. I love it, because what it shows is that you don't necessarily have to compromise on your goals and your dreams. So a lot of people think about kind of do one thing at a time, only focus on one thing, stick to what you know, stay in your lane, all of those quotes that people say. Whereas actually what you're showing, what you've embodied, is actually you can do other things simultaneously. What I want to know is how. So how did you come out with a first class degree and starting two businesses? How was that possible?
I think, first of all, I have to give glory to God for that, and, allowing me to be able to, see the end goal and the vision. I think with me, my friends call me like quite calculated in terms of taking risks. Right. And I always like to see the overall, bigger picture and the vision. And I think having the end goal in mind before you even start makes it easier to, bear the journey as you go along and progress. And I think during my studies, that really helped a lot. Like, I knew the sleepless nights, it would be worth it at the end of the day. And what really helped me during my studies was, having Xuntos in that support group where, my friends would teach me things, I would teach them things as well. And in that effort, we were reinforcing our knowledge. And that really helped a lot in terms of helping me to achieve such a grade academically as well. And also getting industry experience as well helped me to apply that to, my work and just see things in a different light as well.
Of course. It's all about getting those experiences and kind of applying them and leveraging them as well. One thing that you mentioned in passing, and we hear this a lot, we talk about sleepless nights.
Yeah.
What caused those sleepless nights, and how did you deal with it?
Wow. It is, I'm having flashbacks, which is good and bad.
I don't want to trigger any PTSD here. So.
I think for me, I was lucky that with every piece of coursework or exam that I'd always started earlier than I needed to be.
Right.
So at the point where time is running out and I'm having to have sleepless nights, I'm nearly at the point of finishing. Okay. And in those times, I'd help the people around me to make sure that they understand the work and do well as well. And what really, I'm having flashbacks, and I think there's a time where I'd either sleep for X amount of hours, probably about 4 to 6 hours, wake up maybe around 7 to 9 a.m., have breakfast at the house, straight into the library, and spend the whole day there as well. Come back home, rest for a bit, and then go back. Once we got fed up of the library, me and my friends actually moved to the medical center on campus at the University of Hull. So Hull's quite renowned for its facilities. We've probably got one of the best libraries in the world, and well, not in the world, in the UK. And at the point where we was finalizing our studies, they just built the new medical center for doctors and nurses. But we took it upon ourselves to study there as well because it was quite quiet, and you can see like the view of Hull, which was quite motivating as well. Nice. And on top of that, I remember once we got tired of going to campus, I think we converted one of my housemates' rooms into an office.
Oh,
so
wow.
We took our desks and our chairs and our monitors, and we literally worked there around the clock, and then went to our rooms to sleep and then started again.
Wow. That is something, because, I always maintain that a lot of people want the results of a successful person. But I guess when I've said in the past that people don't want to endure what the successful person is going through, but I think sometimes people just don't know what that successful person has had to go through in order to achieve what they've achieved. Yes, it's great to want a first-class degree. It's great to want that. It's great to want to start a business. It's great to have an entrepreneurial spirit and do a couple of things at the same time. But the sacrifice that's required in order to do that, and the effort that it takes, that's where, you kind of separating the sheep from the goats, the people that really want it from the people that are just liking the idea of it. Because that's a lot.
Thank you.
Applause there, because, it's not easy to just continue in that type of cycle where you're focused, you're reading, you're doing your work, and you said just so casually, and I was helping other people as well at last minute. I mean, who does that? Like, you know, when people are late with an assignment, usually all they're focused on is themselves.
Yeah.
Across the line, submitting. You found the time to help others. I think that's amazing. Well done. Well done for that.
I think for me, success is not great when you succeed by yourself. When others succeed around you as well, it's a lot better because they win, you win, we all win.
Yes, I agree with that 100%. I always use the analogy of climbing a mountain. If you're going to climb a mountain and you're trampling on other people, it's going to be a lonely place when you're at the top.
Yeah.
But if you're helping other people, when you get there, you can all celebrate together. But that's brilliant. So, okay, uni was tough, but you did it. You got through. You came out with your first class degree. How then did you get the job with Sky? Did you just say, yep, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a job. Were you thinking about going full-time into Xuntos? What was the thinking behind you, the transition from uni to Sky?
In my head, I always knew that I wanted to work within the tech industry. And I think in everything that I've done, I've always gone with my passion. So I applied the same kind of principle when looking for companies to work for in the tech industry. So during my second year of studies, while I was looking for an internship, I just wrote down a list of all the companies that, you know, I had perhaps heard or, you know, liked growing up or liked what they're doing with technology. I'm quite a fan of, you know, disruption in the right place. And I think with Sky, it's a company, it's a childhood company that I grew up with. We'd always had the Skybox in our house. Like most of my childhood is like revolves around, you know, watching TV and enjoying the content. And while I was looking for work, I came across Sky and didn't realize that, you know, they were actually a technology company first who built their technology in-house. And I think for me, that was quite good because I was automatically able to connect my love for technology and my love for TV and entertainment whilst growing up. And that helped me through the application process.
Right.
So at the end of my studies in my second year, I'd interned there for about 6 weeks. And that changed my whole like view of the tech industry and how things operate as well.
Okay. How did it change? How did your view change?
I think when you're studying and you're reading textbooks and going to lectures and they talk about all the different methodologies and concepts and tools that you use to build technology, there's nothing like actually doing it yourself and doing it in a business where you can see your work grow and flourish and you know it's having an effect on people. And you know, the textbook, it does a good job, but you can't live and breathe it. When you're living and breathing it and being on the battlefield, you really understand it and experience it for yourself. You meet other people in different roles working within the business, and they kind of, you know, tell you how it all fits in together, what they do, and give you a high level view on the bigger picture, which is something the textbook can't necessarily do.
There's nothing like that practical experience, is there? Because, like you said, it's head knowledge until you actually get in there, you roll up your sleeves, and you're actually talking to the people who are sweating, you know, and working hard in that role. Is applying that. There's a very similar thing for me with when I was training to become a teacher. There's only so much you can be told until you're in that classroom with those students delivering a session. That's where you learn. That's where the real the meat is. So yeah, I get that. So you interned there. So that was in your second year.
Yeah, and then upon finishing my internship at the beginning of my third year, I was invited to apply for the graduate program. So I went back down to Australia from Hull, went through the assessment center, and I remember a few days after my birthday, I'd actually received an offer.
Right, nice.
That was also the driving force for, you know, me doing well in university, because I knew I had a job at the end. I didn't have to worry about applying because I did all the work before. So I said, let me just, you know, put my efforts where I can in everything else and my studies. And by the end of it, I have a job and I'm going back to a place where I've been there before. I know the people, I love the culture and technology, and I ultimately love the products that we're building as well.
That's brilliant. That's amazing. So you had it all set up. You seem like a chess grandmaster, you know. It's like you've got all your pieces like 10 moves ahead. So you're ready when it comes to that time. You just slide into, it's like you move your knight to G7 or whatever. It's like you've got it all under control. But that's great. I love that because
Thank you.
it kind of shows that you can't just have success. You need to plan for it and work towards it. So you knew in your mind, yes, I am going to have a job lined up. You did your internship. They invited you to apply. You applied, had that set up nicely. You graduate, get your first class degree. You're like, see you later, Hal. I'm going back to London. I'm going to work for Sky. And what happens then? Do you kind of decide, I can no longer do Xuntos? That was just for my uni days. Or do you feel like, okay, I'm going to focus just on work? Because naturally, a lot of people, you get a job, that's your focus. That's kind of the end goal for a lot of people. You get your job, that is it. So what next? What happened next?
Finished university, and Xuntos was always going to continue. It wasn't going to stop for me because it started, because of my passion for technology and helping others. And just because I've got a job and the people within our community has got a job, the work doesn't stop there as well. Whilst I was in my final year, Xuntos was supporting some students in the second year of university and their first year as well. So that work continued, and that's where Sonia came in and stepped in. So whilst me and the boys had graduated from the University of Hull, she was the ambassador running Xuntos initiatives in Hull. And where we could, we'll come back and deliver workshops and help the community apply for work, as well as go to other universities around the country. So that helped. And once getting into Sky, I think because I'd already been juggling a lot of things outside of the working environment, it just took me a bit of time to get back to working and doing everything else alongside, where it was quite a natural transition.
Right. So this is all happening naturally. This is all almost, it's just easy, right? This is all just
challenges, don't get me wrong. I remember coming back home on my first day of work, and I think I went to bed around 7 p.m., which is quite unusual for me because I go to bed quite late.
Right. So you were out of it. You were like,
we didn't do that much that day. It was just an onboarding day. Met some of the other graduates, met our teacher for the boot camp, and had a tour campus. But the day just took its toll on me.
Welcome to the real world, Sonny Jim. That's what happened, isn't it? It's like you go into the workplace. I'll tell you that obviously you had your work experience anyway, so you kind of had an idea of what it could be like.
It felt like being at home.
Yeah. So yeah, that's amazing. I think it's great to know that transition was in place. You had a legacy there for the students, so it wasn't just your year group, it was the previous years as well. So everybody coming up in the uni, they knew that Xuntos was there. There was somebody on hand, somebody who was able to point people in the right direction, give people guidance. And you guys were all able to go off. I'm assuming the other guys, were they all from London or?
Essex and neighbouring counties.
Okay. And they all went back home afterwards? Any of them?
As well. And in fact, Bernard went from Essex to Reading, which is not too far. It's still down south.
Yeah. Interesting. So, okay. So you're working for Sky.
Yeah.
You're doing kind of guest spots up at the University of Hull every now and again.
Yep. So we go to Hull and a few other universities across the country to deliver workshops as well, and also support students where we can. As a result of COVID-19, everything's kind of moved online as well.
Yes.
Yeah. And since leaving university as well for the last year or so, I occasionally deliver lectures for the University of Hertfordshire. So Mark Martin and I teach a cohort of computer science students from across the world who are embarked on an online distance learning course.
Right.
We taught the software engineering module and taught the first fundamentals of programming module that I, funny enough, sat while I was at university as well.
Right.
Experience.
Wow. So now you're teaching that same module that you sat. That's amazing. Yeah. From the learner to the teacher. That's amazing. So in terms of balancing everything in the full-time job, Has that been the same as when you were at uni? Has it been easier? Has it been harder?
I think it's been harder, mainly because at university, I can decide whether, I want to attend a lecture later or, perhaps do a lab in my own time from my room. But with work, your set hours are kind of 9 to 5:30. And before COVID, most of the time you had to be at a certain location and physically be present. So I think what I found quite difficult is the fact that I didn't have as much flexibility with my time. I couldn't control when I wanted to do certain things. And also traveling from East to West London took quite a toll on me in the sense that it was quite a long commute. But during my commute, before I started driving to work, I would, do work where I can for Xuntos, for UK Black Tech, and just dibble and dabble and other things as well. Sometimes I'd work over my lunch times or spend a few hours in the evening before winding down to do work as well. And sometimes on the weekend. So it's really just about taking advantage of all the different pockets of time that I have to do work, but also play hard as well.
Yeah, that part is important. That time to wind down. I think it really is amazing. That transition is never an easy thing. And like you said, the workplace is quite rigid in terms of the time that you have. To be able to continue that is amazing, to continue that work, lecturing at universities, because this, I'm assuming, is on a Saturday, right?
Yeah. So
there you go.
1 or 2 Saturdays in a month in the early hours of the morning. So
you're doing 5 days a week, half a time in a month. Sorry, 6 days in a week for half a time in a month. That's quite something. On top of just kind of getting your foot in the door in the workplace, establishing yourself, building relationships, and everything else that comes with the job. And I think this is why I wanted to talk to you today, because like I said to people at the top of the show, you haven't just heard about entrepreneurship. You haven't just heard somebody tell you about it. You're actually living it right now as we speak. So you lived it while you were at uni. You thought about what you could do extra. You're doing that while you're in your workplace. You're being innovative in your role as well as things outside of your role. Can you continue this? Is this something do you feel like this pace that you're living at is sustainable? You'll be able to continue on like this? Or do you feel that maybe you would do a transition either way? Would you just one day wake up and think, no, I'm just going to focus on my job? Or would you wake up and feel, no, I'm going to just go into my businesses now? What are your thoughts on that?
It's something I think about every day. And I think I'm still at a place, where I want to establish myself within the tech industry in terms of my skills and the projects that I've worked on. And also, just how I can change technology and continue to drive innovation. So I think there's still a few years in me of working in the industry, finding my feet, learning my skills, and, just leaving my stamp. And I think maybe in the future, perhaps doing, a lot more contract work or work on projects here and there.
Right.
Spend a lot of time, just really driving change within the tech industry, helping people to, find careers within the industry, training people and developing people.
That's good. So you've kind of got a timeline, you've got a plan, of course, the chess master. You've got your pieces lined up, ready to strike when needs be. But no, that's good. It's good to have that plan. It's good to have that clear in your mind. And as well, I think this does help some of the people in our audience who are watching, who may be in a full-time job, and maybe they have their side hustle, maybe they have something they're wanting to innovate on in their workplace. And I do want you to talk a bit about the some of the projects that you have, if you're able to, if it's not under NDA or anything like that. But yeah, because sometimes people have the mind to want to do something, but they're not really thinking beyond that. They're thinking of how difficult it is, first of all, to just start something or to build on something. And obviously from your story, I think the need outweighs everything else, doesn't it? It's when you see that need, you think, right, what can we do to solve this problem? And then when times get difficult, that's really when you know that you're passionate about that thing, because actually you'll keep it up.
Passion literally pushes me through, and also having a great team alongside who believe in the vision as well and also passionate about it too helps.
Definitely. Yeah, so talk to us about some of these projects that you've been working on
So in the last few years, I first started out as a front-end developer, working on some of our front-end clients for the smart TVs and games consoles. So I'd actually worked on the front-end interface of Now TV that runs on the PlayStations, the Samsung smart TVs, and the Xbox. And I was involved in adding some new features to onboard customers for the first time when they use some of our products. So I did that for a few months, and then transitioned into being a back-end Java engineer. And what I do at the moment, and have done over the last year and a bit, is I work on Sky's authentication systems to allow our online customers to perhaps watch TV on our online platforms like Sky Go, Now TV. Over the last year and a half, I was actually fortunate enough to work on probably one of the biggest projects I'll probably work on in my lifetime, which was NBCU Peacock. So Sky, we carried our bags and we decided to set up shop in America alongside Comcast and NBCU to build a streaming platform for their 10 million customers across the US. And that's quite an interesting journey and project and challenge, mainly because coming fresh out of university, I hadn't worked on such a project at scale. I was still getting to grips with the technologies and things that we were using. But I think such a project and such such requirements and just the innovation behind it really accelerated my learning, my development. And I've been fortunate for those experiences that I've had.
That's amazing. To have that as one of the first projects that you work on. It's only, do you know what? Let's go over to US. Yeah, sort them out with 10 million customers, and you're involved in the project. How's about that? Brilliant. I love it. I love it. Nice and simple to start off with. But looking at that and thinking about those different projects that you worked on, again, thinking, yes, you want to do this. Yes, you're kind of, I guess, creating your own legacy, making a name for yourself in terms of working on the projects in the first place, the work that you do while you're on that project, knowing that this could either lead to people saying, no, never again, or yes, please, we definitely need him back. Those types of things, again, they kind of come into play when it comes to the other things that you're doing, right? So maybe on a Saturday when you wanted to think about what you were going to do regarding a work project, but actually maybe you're on the way to X university across the country. I mean, has that happened?
It has a few times. I think Sky's quite good in the sense that work is quite flexible. And a lot of the time I can leave work within the remits of 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But naturally, as a developer, your mind's always thinking about the code that you perhaps didn't quite finish on the Friday, or that test that didn't pass. So those ideas do come into mind. So sometimes if I'm bored, I might just pick up my laptop and just try solve a little bit of work. Or if not, if I, for example, have to go and teach or do other things, I'll put a pause on that and just come back to it. And also while I was at university, the same kind of thing happened, where I was working on coursework, everything's going good. I get stuck. I'm not able to complete the feature or the task that I've got left. I sleep on it, wake up, and randomly a thought just comes to mind, and I'm able to implement what I was doing and fix the problem. So sometimes if I have those thoughts, I'll just wake up, jot down, my methods, and then go back to work on Monday and try it out.
Right. This is it. This is all a part of the creative mind, isn't it? Because it isn't just, I guess sometimes people can look at programming coding from the outside and think of it as kind of almost a robotic process. There's a lot of creativity involved in there, and a lot of problem solving, a lot of just iterations of code and things like that. And it is one of those things. It's almost like when you play a computer game for too long and then you go to bed.
It's just that next level.
It's in your mind. You're thinking about how you're going to get through it and win and. But I think that's amazing. You definitely. I know that you're at the beginning of your journey. It's clear that there are great things to come for your future in terms of everything that you're doing, and we definitely wish you all the best. We're not there yet in terms of the interview, though. I'd like to ask you, what do you feel? What do you feel is any advice that you would give to somebody who is looking to do what you did? Maybe they're at uni. and they see a need and they're thinking of starting something, or maybe they're at work already and they're thinking they've got this really burning passion to do something. It could be within the workplace to help the workplace. And again, the entrepreneurship is not just about doing something as a side hustle, but actually innovating while at work, while something to augment the job that you have. So yeah, what advice would you give to people who are thinking of doing what you did?
I'll say you just have to, channel your thoughts and your emotion and your passion, and really think about, your adventure or business idea, and see, how much you really love this thing, how much capacity do you actually have to do this. And the worst thing you can do is, not start. If you don't start, there's no tangible outcome, there's no results. You never know how far you could have gone with this. And I think sometimes, it's better to fail, fall flat on your face, step back up and continue to iterate and innovate. And I think, in that space and time, really think about your idea. Think about, if there's other people who are doing a similar thing to what you want to do, whether you can collaborate or work alongside them as well. And also, I really stress the importance of, having a team, because when you have the vision by yourself, it can be quite difficult to carry out. We're all humans, we only have two hands and one mind. But, when you come together to collaborate and work alongside other people, there's strength in numbers as well.
There is definitely strength in numbers. Yeah, Paul Carrick-Brunson, he keeps talking about stronger together. And this is the thing about actually seeing something through. Sometimes you have the initial impetus, that's you, but sometimes your partner is the one who will bring the follow through. And then you kind of continue to work off each other. And if there's a team, it definitely helps to drive things forward. But I think you're right. I've heard, in fact, I think it was last week, we had, I have to say, the Paul Essien on the show. We were discussing, because the guy's brain is like, I can't contain him within this studio. He's a very intelligent guy. But he said, I'm totally distracted myself what he said. But no, that was it. He says, you don't have the right to not do what it is that you're supposed to do. When you're supposed to do something, you owe it to the world to do that thing.
Yeah.
That thing. You're doing a disservice to mankind to not do it. So I think those are wise words to actually just do it. It is better to try and to fail, as they say, than to never have tried at all. Okay, so what, if you can, have a think about everything you've experienced, Sky, so far.
Yeah.
You've experienced as a university lecturer, teaching the things that you were learning, as a student from Xuntos, from UK Black Tech. What do you feel is the most valuable lesson that you've learned from all of those experiences thus far?
That is a really good question. I think for me, it would have to be, the importance of the people within, my circle and my network. Because without those people, there's certain things I wouldn't be able to do in the time that I've spent on Earth so far. And it's been like, the few years of my career. And I think being able to learn and, be mentored and shadow other people who perhaps might have more years of experience or done something similar really helps me to, avoid making some mistakes, because they've already made the mistakes in their journey and they've enabled me to learn from it. And ultimately that helps me to accelerate further. And I think everyone, if they can, they should think about how they can give back to others as well, because it's really important, to be able to pave the way for other people and help them, just like the help that you might have got, whether that be in your career or your childhood or growing up. Everyone has received help in some form or some shape. And I think really being able to help others is probably the most valuable lesson I'll take away from everything.
Wow, that's excellent.
Thank you.
That's brilliant. There's so much value in giving back. We've heard it from a few different guests that I've had on the show here in the Honey Block, but it's true every single time. Giving, there's so much to gain from giving, but you don't give so that you can gain. You give so that you can help others. The byproduct is actually you gain from giving to others. So yeah, very, very, very wise words. And also, I love that point about just not having to go through the lessons that other people have learned. So actually not having to bump your head into the brick wall. If someone else has already done it, you can learn from it and you can actually avoid the bruises, etc. That's brilliant. Now, I appreciate, we're going to bring the show to a close. If there's anybody watching and you have any comments that you would like to add, I'd like you to type your questions in the comment section and I will pose them to Ola on your behalf. So yes, my final question is just about the future. What does the future hold for you, for Ola? And I know that you've got an answer. I know that you've got an answer. I know you have, because you're the chess master. You've got all the pieces worked out, so you know what's going to happen in which year, etc. So I want to know, the audience wants to know, what does the future hold, both for UK Black Tech specifically, for Xuntos, for yourself, and naturally we know that you're still working, you're considering everything for your job. Yeah, what does the future hold for you, Ola?
I think for me, personally, I'd like to become the best that I can be in my craft and perhaps be a senior software engineer or a technical principal lead, and just really, you know, mentor others in the development of software and that craftsmanship, and also ensuring that, you know, in whatever we do, we use the best technologies, the best standards, and the best concepts as well. I would say for UK Black Tech, the future is all about, you know, innovation and really shining a light on the innovators across the country. I'll say, you know, watch this space. In terms of Xuntos, we want to be, you know, that direct organization that connects people looking for work to opportunities in companies. And I'd say we perhaps would want to do more than just connect, but actually create these opportunities at companies and open the doors. A company could say, you know, they're looking for a front engineer to work on their new web product or their web app, and it's to do with the XYZ technologies, and it's within this product area. And we'd like to say, you know, we have student A or recent graduate B who would be a great fit for this job. They've gone through our workshops. We've given them support over their journey, and they're more than capable of doing the job and contributing to the success of their company. And I'll also say for Sky, the future is, you know, to continue to build more streaming platforms, and not just within the Europe and America, but across the world.
Wow.
Student A or recent graduate B.
Wow, 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 wow. These are not small goals. These are not small tasks. These are, I would say, probably typical for you now that we've spoken. Yeah. You don't aim for small, you know, you don't go for the small things. And do you know what I believe? You know, like you said, by the grace of God, everything that you're setting your mind to, you're going to achieve, and then some. And I wish you all the best in everything that you're doing, because it's inspirational. It really is. It's inspirational. I think not only just the things that you've achieved, I think the manner in which you're achieving it, and just the outlook. You know, what I'm getting from you is you're a person who likes to give, you like to help others, and you know that is always a very good core quality to have. So I salute you, sir. Well done. Well done.
Thank you.
Well done. Well, I'm going to have to bring this interview to a close right now, but I really appreciate you joining us, Ola. And
it's a pleasure.
Yeah, it's just so good to get a bit deeper into your story. I know we spoke briefly on the show a few weeks back, but yeah, it's just been so valuable to hear about your journey as an entrepreneur, as someone who's in full-time work. I love it. So thank you so much. Do you have any final words of wisdom that you'd like to leave our viewers with just before you go, please?
I think it, you know, just continue to give back and help others where you can. And, you know, there is strength in numbers as well. I think, yeah, that would literally be it. I feel like I've said a lot throughout the whole session and pretty much summed it all up.
I like that. Short, sweet, to the point. That's great. Well, sir, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Hopefully we'll be able to get you back on the show sometime in the future as well.
Definitely.
Have a good catch up and talk. Maybe we'll get Martin on as well. He's been a guest on the show in the past as well. So thank you so much, sir. We appreciate it. If you would like to follow Ola, his social media details. They're scrolling across the bottom of your screen right now. And if you are listening via the podcast, his Twitter handle is at Ola_Otaiku. That is Otaiku. At LinkedIn, it's at Ola J Otaiku again. And then Instagram and Twitter, you can follow Xuntos at _Xuntos. And you can search for at Xuntos as the YouTube channel, and you'll be able to find his stuff. And also you can search for UK Black Tech as well. Let's not forget about that. You can search for that on YouTube as well. So Ola, again, thank you so much for joining us tonight. I really appreciate you. You give you a round of applause. I'll bring you off the stream. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Excellent. Glad to have you. Okay, folks, that is it for today's show. I hope that you have enjoyed it. I have learned so much just talking to him, and he's inspired me in terms of work ethic and all kinds of things that, you know, you feel, but you just want to be inspired about every now and again. So hats off to Ola. We wish him all the best in his journey as an entrepreneur, his work at Sky, and everything that he's doing for Xuntos and UK Black Tech. Good people, thank you so much for tuning in today. Join us next week. In fact, this week we have another Forex 101 session for you on Thursday. And of course, next week we'll be talking to the one and the only Dr. Rashada Harry. So we're going to be talking to her about all things YFYA and all the things that she's done. Oh my goodness me, some serious credentials. So we're going to be talking to her next week. And yeah, thank you so much for your support. We will be back with more information for you, more interviews. You can drop your questions and get all the information that you need to sharpen your skills as an entrepreneur and grow your potential. Take care, and we will see you next week on Tuesday Night Live. Take care and have a great weekend. Have a great rest of the week.